Okay, so I wanted to do a video actually about a gaming memory that I had. And this one's an interesting one because this one's probably one of the worst gaming memories that I have, as well as being one of the more could have been the best one. And maybe that's why it's the worst. So let me just talk about this. So when I was maybe nine or 10, a neighbor used to come over all the time, and we used to play games like Smash Brothers and Mario 3 and all those games. So one time he used to ring the doorbell. He came to my house. He just walked across the yard. He rang the doorbell, and he would just stand in front of the door, right, like a normal person would. Now I was 9 and I was really hyper. I would I ran down the hallway, and where the door is that it would be the side door, it was in the kitchen. So I would run into the kitchen, and I used to do this sliding maneuver where I would slide across the floor of the kitchen tiles in my socks. I don't know why I did this. I just really liked doing this as a kid. And then I would just stop at the door, right? So there's one time that my good friend, dear friend, decided to trust me and open the door like a normal person would. I slid across the floor and put out my hands to, lightly tap the wooden door. But instead, the door has little glass panels um, right in the face area. So I just put my hands out, and my hands just slapped into those glass panels. My one hand, I believe. Yes. Went like that, and it just shot through the glass. And my friend was just there. And he's just standing in front of a door. And this must be a traumatic experience to just be standing in front of a door and a hand just breaks through the glass. And basically, the shattered glass, a little piece, must have flew so fast. It was a little tiny piece, maybe a couple millimeters long, and it just went into his forehead. It gave him a little cut. So I don't know how, maybe in the speed of the reaction time, because the window broke. There were very sharp sides, but I just pulled out my hand without slicing it on any of the edges, because there was definitely, if I had done this a little bit, my hand would have been cut up. But I just smashed through, pulled it out, was like, what the hell? Opened the door. My friend is there. He's like bugging out. He's like 11 years old at the time, and he's bugging out. He's like, oh my forehead. I'm like, what happened to you? What? Are you fine? Are you okay? I looked at his face. I'm like, oh, you look good, but he was grabbing his forehead and he ran to back to his house. I followed him, and his dad took out the little piece of glass, and as he's taking the glass out of my friend's forehead, um, uh, and it's very small, I couldn't even see what the problem was. I couldn't understand why he was kind of in pain. But his dad took out the little glass. It was tiny. He didn't need he just took it out with his hand. He didn't need like tweezers or anything, luckily. And he wasn't bleeding that much. It was just right there. It must have been very sharp, and the pain must have been really strong. It wasn't as big as it sounded. So as he's doing that, he's like, "Oh, what happened? Is everything okay?" And my friend, he's like, "Oh shoot, it hurts so much." And his dad is just like, "Did you give Sam his gift yet?" And I'm just like, "What? What is this?" And I see in his hand he's holding a stopwatch. And 9-year-old, 10-year-old boys, we love that kind of stuff. So I found out he raises out his hand and he gives me a stopwatch, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you gave me this awesome stopwatch, like a sports stopwatch. It has like all these timer features that are good for um, running and stuff like that." He gave it to me, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, like, wow, I'm so sorry I broke the glass all over your face." Luckily, nothing happened to his face. That could have been seriously bad, but luckily it wasn't a big deal in terms of physical injuries. And I found out he also had a stopwatch. So he got one for himself and for me, And I was just very sad. I was like, wow, you got me this gift and I just cut your face. So, but you know, we're friends. We like made up. No big deal. Accidents happen. But I went back to the house. I don't recall what happened for the rest of the that moment. I think I was at his house for the rest of the day trying to make him feel better. I go back to my house. I don't know what happened. My memory's a little joggy. But all I remember is that eventually that night, um, I spoke to my dad. He found the window, by the way, the kitchen door window, just broken out. Um, and you know, they made sure I was fine. And what he did was he was like, Sam, I come home, I find out you broke the glass. What DF? And I'm like, what's next? And he's like, well, here, I brought you a gift. And he gives me, let's see, here we go. Is this backwards? Am I gonna have to mirror the webcam? He gives me this game, Mickey Mouse World of Illusion. Not Castle of Illusion, this is a sequel, I believe, with Donald Duck, which is much better for me because I love Donald. Mickey, whatever. Donald's my man, he's my boy, and having him in a co-op game when you're 9, this game was awesome. I love this game. This is one of my favorite games growing up. And anyone who likes Disney, I think you should go ahead and play it. But I go ahead and, you know, the only time my dad, in my memory, has ever come and given me a gift without me asking for it, no special occasion, it's a real surprise. I actually like the gift. Everything is perfect, except that I broke the kitchen door with my hand, my immense hand, just shattering it. I'm like, wow, wow. I feel so bad. I don't want any of these gifts. Like, of all the days, I had to break the kitchen door on my friend's face. I got a gift from my friend, and I got a gift from my dad. So, forever lives on in my memories as, you know, just, wow. Sometimes luck just doesn't go your way. Sometimes it just beats you down, and then it tries to make you feel guilty. But, you know, all was forgiven. The kitchen door's fixed. We even replaced that door, because who needs it? Bad door anyway. So, that was me sharing with you a memory of my well-being. And I hope you appreciate it. And I hope you have a good night. Bye. Peace.